today I have my 2-week review of the Selkirk BoomStik, specifically the wide body variation. And if you saw my first impressions video, you know that I actually wasn't the biggest fan when I first tried this paddle. I thought it was way too poppy, I thought it was way too powerful, I thought it was too hard to control, and I actually put it down. I really struggled to try and get through my 2-week review with it because it just wasn't working in my games. I just couldn't adapt to it. But something clicked. Something changed after around the almost 2-week mark, actually, where I realized that the power that this paddle has, if harnessed properly, actually pairs exceptionally well with the control that it gives you and the dwell time that you get from this 16 mil all foam paddle. So what are the things that I like about it? Well, I love the long handle length. I love the 16 mil all foam construction. Even though it has a hollow sound and feeling, you actually get a lot of dwell time. You get a lot of shape on the ball. My drops and dinks, fantastic. My drives became effortless once I shortened up my swing. And overall, the feel of the paddle feels really good right out of stock. What don't I like? I actually don't like that Selkirk puts these weights on that you cannot take off. There's 15 grams of weight that's put onto the side, which, again, right out of the box feels great. But if you're like me, who wants to customize your paddle a little bit, this didn't work out too well in my favor. I also think that it has maybe a smidgen too much power. And that's a really weird thing to say in this evolving game of pickleball where everything's getting faster and harder. But I would say for the average person in the adjustment period that this paddle requires, it's maybe a little bit too much power. And I also would prefer a little bit different throat shape just for my two-handed backhand. It's not the worst paddle that I've had in terms of that. I can get my two hands on there quite nicely, but just the shape of the throat here personally wasn't my favorite. So I'm gonna hop onto the ball machine and kind of give you my thoughts during my drives, my drops, my serves, my dinks. So let's get into it. As I mentioned, drives were one place that I really had to adjust to the BoomStik, and the power and pop off this paddle is probably some of the best that I've ever had. That being said, my slightly larger backswing that I was using on my other paddles before did not work with this. Basically, you are almost parallel with your hip in going forward to generate the power needed to actually land the ball inside. And the thing that I love the most about this is that you can transition from a really hard drive to a really soft, controlled drop where you can get really great shape on the ball. Again, that mixture of spin and dwell time allows me to pick my target and really place that ball exactly where I want to. Mid-court resets were one area that I actually found were slightly better, but again, needed an adjustment because the paddle is so poppy right off the face. You actually don't need to swing at very much, if at all. A lot of the time, depending on how hard the shot is, I'm just allowing the paddle to go out, to deflect, and it's doing the work. And then I just have to adjust my angle on the paddle face. But overall, I actually found that progressing through the mid-court with nice, soft, controlled resets, and then the ability to add power and finish was a really great combination that I could see actually suiting a lot of different play levels. Whether you're a pro player or an intermediate player, this can actually work into your benefit, again, if you adapt to it. Dinking and volley dinks with the BoomStik were actually surprisingly good. For such a poppy paddle, I actually felt that the control that I could get off my volley dinks and the angle and attack that I could get on my backhand slice, on my forehand, any of my dinks really felt very, very composed. Again, this was all predicated on changing it so that there really is no swing. I'm just allowing for that deflection, allowing the paddle to do the work, but I was able to get some finishing shots in some high-level games, cross-court dinks that I've never hit before. And I really need to attribute this to the spin, the consistency that this paddle allows me to have at the net. Serving likewise also felt really good, but as well as the drives, you needed to shorten up the backswing, to keep that ball in. But the topspin and the ability to paint that baseline, really hit that baseline with a ton of topspin to kick up into your opponent, really, again, can't be underestimated in how this paddle can take you to the next level if you allow it to, and if you adjust to it accordingly. So, what are my final thoughts on the Selkirk BoomStik Widebody after 2 weeks of playing with it? I gotta say, I really love it. The characteristics of this paddle are phenomenal. The drives are impeccable, super powerful, tons of shape. The drops, super controlled. Again, lots of shape, lots of ability to choose your angles. Resets, really good once you adjust to it. Dinking, top tier. Probably one of the best paddles that I've ever had for dinking. And serves, again, really good. Volleys, brutal power at the net that you can deploy when you want. Who would I say this paddle is for? Definitely elite players will see a huge benefit in playing with this. You'll become a lot more compact. You'll become a lot more powerful. I would say you'll become a lot more consistent once you get used to the paddle. But if you are a 3-2-5, 3-5 player, could you play with it? Yes. Would you require quite a bit of adjustment to dial in your shot? Absolutely. But it's a paddle that you could grow into if you have trouble generating power on your own because of injury, whatever that's going on with you. This will help you add the power to your game. So definitely one that I will be recommending. I will actually be playing with this for the next couple of weeks as I've got a tournament coming up, and I think this is going to be my main paddle. But yeah, if you guys want to pick one up for yourself, you can head over to the Ontario Pickleball Academy. These have actually been so popular that we are sold out right now, but we have a massive order coming in. So if you want to go and get yours, go and check out the website. But yeah, if you have any questions about the paddle, anything else that's coming on the market, any of the new foam paddles that are coming in 2025, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below, and make sure you subscribe for all our future videos that are going to be coming out that we're going to be just pumping out in the next couple of months. So I'll see you then.